Let's talk about no pitch referral system. If you're a private practice therapist and you are thinking about marketing, you're thinking about how to get more clients into your practice, referrals can be, and I would argue, one of the bloodlines for your private practice. So, in this episode, if you're listening to it on the podcast and in this live stream, if you are live with me, we're going to talk about how to create no pitch referral system that will actually bring clients to you and how to connect with other professionals, other providers, who to actually form relationship with, because it is one of the bloodlines and one of the most reliable ways to bring clients. Because can you bring clients through social media? 100%, and a lot of therapists do. But there's you I mean, none of the ways you can predict that clients will come. You can predict that your referral resources will actually send you clients. But referral resources, this is something that I learned from billion-dollar healthcare organizations when I work at healthcare organizations. Referrals was a big time. Like medical doctors are using it, and a lot of therapists with successful, thriving practice are using it. So today we're going to talk about who you should target. In my opinion, I'm also. And it's not going to be also like just a lecture when I'm just talking at you. It's going to be rather a conversation when you can ask me questions, when you and when you can participate, when and I would like you to ask me questions. Please do ask me questions, because this live stream is for you. And I'm going to tell you also how, like, what I personally did when I just started my private practice in Moscow, Russia. You might be curious, like, Eugene, like, that's Moscow, this is the US, or I live in Canada, how it's going to be relevant to me. But like that, early on, I learned, and when I moved here, I learned that those skills that I actually kind of accidentally developed were actually the skills that, like, working well for everybody. So now, who how do you decide who to even send the referral connection with, right? I would think about medical doctors 100%, because medical doctors they, and it depends on your niche, on your population, but medical doctors are one of the referrals that often send people to therapists. Like, it's 100% medical doctors. But like, what other professionals can send referrals to you? And I would like you to actually dive deeper on your niche, like on your customer, like, who do you work with? For example, I run my own private practice as a hypnotherapist, and I work with gay men. For me personally, one of the referral system would be like prep clinic, right? Prep clinics, or physicians specifically who do like prep referrals. And in Colorado, when I live in Colorado, one of the doctors who actually did a lot of volunteering work in LGBTQ plus community, he would actually ask this question, and he would pause and ask very meaningfully, asking guys, hey, um, if you're having like open relationship, or if you are like actively like dating, seeing other people, are you suffering emotionally? Like, are you depressed? Do you have mental health issues? And he would psychoeducate people, say, you know what, sometimes we use sex as avoidance. And he would make referrals for gay guys to affirming therapists who can see gay people. That is one way, right? gyms, right? Or fitness trainers rather, because especially if you work with eating disorders, right? Like gyms, fitness trainers who work with your type of clients. That is 100%. Um, who else? I would say, because listen, whether we want it or not, the world is changing so much, and a lot of people actually doing entrepreneurial work and are thinking about or trying to build a business. Maybe I am biased because I'm building my businesses, but also like I think after 2020, like in this period 2020 to 2024, a lot of people realize that like, oh, there's actually another way, right? I can actually build my own business. I can actually provide for myself. Business coaches can be another resource, right? Because where we see a lot of dysregulation is like in business arena. So, um, and also like local communities, right? Where people gather. Now, the most important part of no pitch referral system, you do not take pen and paper. You do not, you absolutely do not send them weird messages, weird referrals, such as, hello, my name is so and so. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I use CBT, DBT, IFS, and I work with trauma, OCD, and relationship problems. This is my resume, and nobody reads it. Okay. And it's giving that like, oh, she wants or he wants something from me. This is not how you make a referral. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did in Moscow and what I'm actually doing again. And it's like, listen, it's not overnight success. First of all, you introduce yourself to a doctor or to people that you want to get a referral, like as a connection, as a networking opportunity, not from like, hey, I need patients from you. Like, how can you benefit them? Because nobody wants to just refer clients to you. This is two-way street. This is two-way relationship. So how do you bring clients to them? And this is why they will bring clients to you. So my example is a little bit different, but if you are connected with your community and if you're a therapist, if you're a healing professional, I highly recommend you to connect with your community. Hello, Lisa. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a therapist, if you're actively working with clients, it's so essential to be a part of that community. So many months ago, when I lived in Russia, when I start my private practice, before working as a clinical psychologist, before working as a therapist in Moscow, I was working as a sign language interpreter. And what I did, like unknowingly, like I was young, y'all. Like I started working when I was like 17. Not everybody has the same path. I understand. This is unknown privilege that I simply had. But what I did every week, so in Moscow, deaf community would gather in certain places. And it would be gathering outside. A lot of deaf people come together and they just mingle and they just chat. I would go almost every week there and I would make connections. I would like introduce myself without saying that like, hey, I'm a sign language interpreter or I'm a therapist or like anything like that. I was just a part of the community. And then the people slowly but surely started like asking me like, what do you do back then? sign language interpreter, then, oh, I'm a therapist, I'm a psychologist. And then slowly, my number somehow from that network, from those random meetups on in the street, like just in random like popular places in the big metropolitan city, just spread around to like neighborhoods. And then I started getting calls from local emergency services, like, hey, we need assessment. Hey, we have a deaf person and we're not sure if they're like if they are like mentally okay. Hey, we need an interpreter. Well, one challenge that it created for me, like I could not be their psychologist or their therapist or do assessment and be their interpreter. Like that was a challenge for me. I said, hey, you got a call interpreter. Like, I can do an assessment, but if you want to interrogate or interview them, you have to bring in an interpreter. I cannot be both. So, and also like kind of living, like kind of going with the community, like doctors would know my numbers, different people would know my numbers, different businesses would know my numbers, and it kind of just spread like wildfire. And also, back then I was a young professional, I was a young psychologist. I did not like it, the goal to build my private practice was not necessarily the goal. It was like, and back then in Russia, it's just a given. If you are a psychologist, if you are in mental health, it's just a given. It's probably not the profession when you go to make billions of dollars or whatever, like a lot of money. It's probably just like what you make of it, right? Like you do a lot of education, you do a lot of private work, you run private practice, you work in a community center, like you do whatever you can to like bring the living that you want, right? And for me, it was running my private practice, working at the centers, seeing the opportunities. And because I created such a really active network, people would what I would call like centers, like um, very specific niche down centers for deaf people or deaf schools, they would just know my name. Like, oh, of course we know your name. Of course we have a position for you. Like our psychologist just went on the maternity leave. Of course you can take a job. And the interview was rather trivial, right? And again, like some places it was a little bit more difficult, with others it was a little bit more easier. But like I did not have to hunt for a job that hard. You know what I'm saying? And for my private clients, right, the same thing. And why I'm telling you this, how you can implement it with your clients, where your clients gather, like go and speak at those meetups. And this is a different way you can actually elevate your community. It's not just about getting clients, but it's also about elevating your communities. Well, let's say you're working with um, women who, like, I don't know, like let's say you're working on weight management, or let's say you're working with eating disorders, and you can look at meetups where women or people with eating disorders get together, like meetups, right? Or health meetups. And you can be as a participant, and it's 100% ethical, by the way. And you can also ask organizers, say, hey, I'm a licensed therapist. Do you think your community would benefit if I prepare a talk on, I don't know, like how to combine GLP-1 and therapy so you can get a better results, for example, just as an example that I can think about right now. Um, or let's say you work with men and you go to networking events for men, if you can. But find those events where you can, and you can also mingle with people, introduce yourself, create talks, and then like your community just like get gets to know you, right? And it's apps like, and I know it's not scalable, right? But especially as a solo private owner, as a solo private practice person, this is the it can be a bloodline for your practice because I don't know about like, and this is so good for people who are not comfortable with social media. If you even if you are comfortable with social media lately it is all over the place, right? And I would never suggest my clients that they should post on Instagram to get clients. Can you get clients from Instagram? 100%. Can you get clients from YouTube? 100%. By the way, on Thursday, I will be talking about how to get clients from YouTube. And this is actually gonna be like kind of like case study because I opened my private practice last month. I know it's very early, like I don't have the whole lot of big numbers to show, but I'm gonna show you how on YouTube, and it was like kind of intuitive. Like I will start with YouTube, how YouTube is actually growing, right? And like what it took and how it works. But in-person networking, especially with the age of AI, no, like as of right now, where technology is at, nobody can fake you in person. Nobody can create a robot that looks exactly like you. Because when you go on Meta, when you go on Instagram, when you go on live, there are a lot of like AI generated videos. And as as therapists, we cannot ignore the AI is here. And also when you go in network, when you go and build win-win relationship, people start noticing you. Also, if you are like other ways you can create your network and referral system, no pitch referral system. If you are running private practice and you are in business, right? Like you can be self-employed. Nothing is wrong with being self-employed and hop from contract to contract, freelancing project to freelancing project, or maybe travel therapist here and there. And it can be absolutely beautiful thing. And you just self-employed, or you're building a business. And if you're building a business, and if you're an entrepreneur, you probably are in some sort of coaching community, right? In business coaching, business advisory community. Be active in that community as much as you possibly can. Speak up, say what you do, share your wins, share like, let's say you are in I don't know, Instagram marketing community, or even if you are in a community with other therapists, network with other therapists because um, although like we all feel the economy, we all feel the heaviness of of the economy. The truth is that people want to get to there are therapists who actually have booked out schedules and wait lists, and those therapists they would like to help people and refer people out uh, to those people who can help them. 100%. And this way, by the way, like that is, yes, it is time consuming. Yes, it requires additional energy, but also like you don't know how to use social media, no problem. You just go and talk to people and it's win-win relationship. Oh, your social media algorithms have changed. No problem. Oh, like let's say social media is charging you right now. If you want to even mention your practice or your content will be blocked and you don't want to pay, no problem. You can go and market on your feet with your community. Again, another way to market. I mean, you can absolutely send LinkedIn messages to doctors and other therapists, but unless they're living, breathing, eating, and like not doing clinical work and they just live on social media, they probably gonna ignore your message because they probably get at least three, four pitches a week from coaches, from marketers, from who knows what. And here's you, like when they should listen to you. Sometimes, like I, I don't have the energy to go through like all of the pitches and proposals like that come to me on Instagram and on LinkedIn, and I have great presence on LinkedIn. You can start with LinkedIn, right? And with like quiet networking, but where it's really at, it's when you are in your community. And also, if you want to be a good therapist, and it's my personal opinion, and like you let me know in my DMs and in the comments if you agree with that. If you want to be a good, if you want to be a good therapist, specialization is everything, and you can specialize on your community, like who you serve, and the closer you are with your community. And I'm not talking about being inappropriate with your community, right? I'm not talking like adding a layer of self-disclosure that you're not comfortable, but simply you are part of that community. People, you understand them better. People will come to you. People will form trust because honestly, social media alone, psychology today alone, your website alone, these are wonderful assets, but sometimes it needs a little kick. Social media takes time, and if you have personality for social media, that may work for you a little bit faster. But if you suck at content, even if you're a good therapist, you can be a good therapist and suck at content, then it's probably not going to land for you for a very, very, very long time until you get better at creating content, right? So go to your community, connect with your community, and also, if you would like to work with a business coach, if you're looking for help in that regard, so this is exactly what I do with therapists. So, what matters to me? Because like I was that therapist who like needed guidance, and in the past I worked with a lot of subject matter experts, with a lot of consultants, with coaches. And when I say coaches, coaches who were highly specialized in like certain industries, like tech coaches, um, marketing consultants, business advisors, things like that. And I believe in therapy, and I believe that therapists deserve and can make money, absolutely can make money. And when referral network, no page referral network, this is something that I work closely with people. And this is something that I can teach you from my personal experience that I lived literally. I just told you and even if you just listen to this podcast or watch this video and go and implement it, I I can guarantee because like I don't know how you do it, but I'm highly confident that you might get really good results. I help therapists with their messaging, with their positioning, with bringing everything together, especially if you're starting out your private practice and you don't know where to go, and you need direction. And as a person who built like what at this point three businesses, my private practice in Moscow, my coaching business, because coaching business and therapy business, I mean, coaching and therapy is not the same, but they're kind of very similar in a lot of ways. We all have slow seasons, referral system, marketing, talking to people in an ethical way, like things like that. So, if you're looking for help for your private practice, I have three spots open, and what you need to do, like just send me a DM. The investment for my program, it's 6 months program working directly with me, and it's $3,000, and you can use Klarna if you can pay it in full, or you can pay it in full. But it's working one on one with me. It's having accountability and access in between sessions. It's like me being all up in your business, helping you with systems, with technology, because also I work 10 years in tech, and as a person who actually work in tech and understands AI and understands tech and understands how everything is interconnected and understands therapist. This is a very rare combination. Normally, therapists, even if they're business coaches, they're not very good at tech. I'm good at both. Um, I, I, I can be that guide, and I would like to guide therapists for to build profitable practices, because it is absolutely possible. Raising your fees, getting off the insurance panels, if it is your goal, positioning yourself as a subject matter expert, income diversification. Because listen, the universe, like our world, our universe is so abundant. This is what I personally believe. Because if you want to charge $600 for therapy session, you can. If you want to charge $75 per session for therapy, you also can. But you can also create abundant life by doing something else outside of it, if it is so sacred, and you don't have to overwhelm yourself with just one-on-one clients. Slow seasons, how to build your business around slow seasons, right? And this is not just theoretical. This is not something that I just learned from my business coaches. And when it comes to my business education, business coaches, I work with really great business coaches: Jerisha Hall, Melissa Hanal, Nakisha Hicks, right? Those are like very solid people in business industry. And Nakisha Hicks, she is a HR coach, and she was my one of the first one-on-one coaches. So like I am standing on the shoulders of giants, and my personal experience. So if you need help with your business and you're looking for a business coach, business advisor, that will work with you one on one, send me a DM. And this is like that's the process. You send me a DM. We have a quick, simple conversation. If it is a right fit, if I can really indeed help you, um, I will send you the link how to enroll, and we start with enrollment, and we start working together. So I hope it helps. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please leave your questions in the comments. I would like to hear from you. I would like to know what resonates with you. Send me a DM with your questions, and I